Everybody wants the strength, but nobody wants the struggle. You want the reward, but you don't want the work. You want the blessing, but you don't want the burden. Let me tell you something. Strength don't show up in comfort. Strength is born in the fire. See, you keep asking, why me? Why the pain? Why the hardship? Why the setbacks? Let me flip the script. Why not you? Why not you to carry the weight? Why not you to rise from the ashes? Why not you to show the world that pressure doesn't break diamonds? It makes them. You think struggle is your enemy, but it's your coach. Everyone wants to be strong, but few are willing to go through what it takes to become that way. The truth is, strength is never handed to you. It's forged in the furnace of struggle. Struggle is the birthplace of strength, the place where character is formed, where the weak are separated from the determined, and where the fire within is either extinguished or ignited. It's not the easy times that shape a person. It's the trials, the hardships, the moments where giving up feels like the only option. Yet somehow you keep going. Struggle is not something to avoid. It's something to embrace. It's in those moments where life pushes you to your knees that you find out what you're really made of. Not when the path is clear and the lights are green, but when you're walking alone in the dark, unsure of the next step. That's when strength is born. That's where resilience begins to grow. You don't become strong by talking about it. You don't become strong by watching others do it. You become strong when life tests you, breaks you, and you choose not to stay broken. Think about every champion you admire, every leader who inspires you. Behind the success, behind the spotlight, is a story of struggle, a story of loss, rejection, failure, and pain. But what separates them from the rest isn't what they went through, it's how they responded to it. They didn't let the struggle define them negatively. They let it build them. They took the hits, they felt the pain, and they kept pushing. That decision to keep going, everything in you wants to quit. That's strength. And it doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the fire. People often pray for strength, but run from the very experiences that will give it to them. Strength doesn't show up in the gym or the classroom alone. It shows up in the broken places. It shows up in the tears you wipe away when no one's watching. It shows up in the nights you stay up grinding while everyone else sleeps. It shows up in every no that you turn into fuel, every failure that becomes a lesson. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. But if you're ready for real growth, if you're ready for real power, then you gotta be willing to struggle. Struggle strips away the comfort zones. It exposes your weaknesses and forces you to confront your fear. It demands that you level up, whether you feel ready or not. And as you go through it, something happens inside you. You become sharp, you become tougher. You start to realize that the pain didn't come to destroy you, it came to prepare you for the next level, for the responsibilities you prayed for the version of yourself you haven't even met yet. You don't get access to that version without a price, and that price is struggle. When you're in the middle of the storm, when everything around you feels like it's falling apart, remember, this is not the end. It's a beginning. It's a beginning. Because that's when strength starts to speak. Not when things are easy, but when they're hard. Not when you're winning, but when you're fighting not to lose. Not when you're being praised, but when you're being overlooked, counted out, and doubt. That's when you build your foundation. That's when your roots grow deep. You learn to rely not on what's around you, but what's inside you. That's strength, and it doesn't come any other way. Pain is a teacher, not a punishment. If you can keep showing up in the dark, if you can stay committed when nobody's clapping, that's when the roots go deep. That's when your foundation becomes unshakable. People see the success and assume it came easy. They see the results and think it happened overnight. But what they don't see are the years of preparation in the shadows. The mornings you woke up early when no one told you to. The late nights where you kept going even though you were exhausted. The rejections you endured, the failures you learned from, the sacrifices you made. All of that happened in the dark. And that's why the spotlight means something when it finally shows up. Because you know it didn't make you, it just revealed what you already built. Growth in the dark requires faith. Faith in the process. Faith in yourself. Because you're not getting constant feedback. You're not getting applause. You're not even sure if it's working, but you keep planting. You keep showing up. You keep watering the seeds. And over time, something starts to shift. You become sharper. You become stronger. You become someone who no longer needs validation to keep moving. You learn to trust your effort. You learn to trust your consistency. And that's where the real power lies. The dark also teaches you discipline. When there's no one to impress, no one watching, your actions become pure. You're no longer performing for approval. You're building for purpose. You start to move with intention, not for recognition, but for growth. That kind of discipline carries into every area of life. It gives you an edge, because while others are waiting for permission or praise, you've already put in the work. You've already been tested. You've already built something that doesn't need a stage to stand on. Growth in the dark is quiet, but it's powerful. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. Because when it's time to step into the light, you're not stepping in as someone trying to prove something. You're stepping in as someone who's already become something. You don't need the spotlight to validate you. You've been validated by the work, the sacrifice, and the transformation that took place when no one was watching. The struggle is the answer to your prayer for strength. People ask for strength like it's a gift, like it's going to show up wrapped in encouragement and ease. But strength doesn't come in comfort. It comes in resistance. It shows up in moments when everything in you wants to stop, to give up, to run the other way. And yet you keep pushing. When you pray for strength, you're not praying for something to be handed to you. You're asking life to make you stronger. And the only way to become stronger is to be tested, to be challenged, to be stretched past what you thought you could handle. Struggle is not a sign that you've been forgotten. It's a sign that you've been chosen. Chosen to carry weight, chosen to climb higher, chosen to go deeper. And the thing about being chosen is that it doesn't always feel like a blessing. Sometimes it feels like pain. Sometimes it feels like loneliness, like heartbreak, like failure. But underneath all that, strength is forming. Discipline is forming. Grit is being built. You just don't always recognize it while you're in the middle of the process. When you're in the heat of the struggle, it's tempting to think you're being punished. But the reality is, you're being prepared. Every obstacle is shaping you. Every setback is refining you. Every disappointment is developing your endurance. People don't become great by avoiding struggle. They become great by enduring it. They become great because they didn't walk away when it got hard. They stayed in it. They learned from it. They let the struggle do its work because they understood that strength isn't found, it's forged. You don't grow when everything is going your way. You grow when the path is blocked and you find a new way forward. You grow when doors close and you build your own. Struggle forces you to be creative. It forces you to get resourceful. It forces you to discover what you're really made of. And once you face the battle and made it through, you carry something that can't be taught. It can only be earned. That's the kind of strength that no one can take from you. That's the kind of strength that stays with you long after the struggle is over. There's a reason diamonds are formed under pressure. There's a reason swords are sharpened with fire. And there's a reason strong people are often born from broken places. That's not coincidence. It's process. It's designed to... And if you try to escape the process, you forfeit the strain. That's why the struggle's not the enemy. It's the answer. It's the classroom where your resilience is built. It's the gym where your mental toughness is trained. It's the battlefield where your confidence is earned. Every time you choose to stay in the fight, every time you choose to keep moving forward when everything says stop, you're building muscle. Not just physical, but emotional, mental, spiritual. That muscle's what's gonna carry you through the next storm. It's what's going to allow you to lead others when they're looking for someone to follow. And it all starts with the struggle you're in right now. It might feel heavy, but it's building something inside you that's even heavier, something unshakable. The mistake most people make is thinking the struggle is something to get through as fast as possible. But if you rush it, you miss the lesson. You miss the transformation. You miss the very thing that's going to make you who you're meant to become. So instead of resisting the struggle, embrace it. Let it mold you. Let it shape you. Let it prepare you for the weight you asked to carry. Because whether you realize it or not, this struggle is answering the very prayer you whispered in silence. So when life pushes, don't pull back. Lean in. When it hurts, don't run, rise up. Everything you need is already inside you, but it gets revealed in the fire, in the fight, in the pressure. Your struggle is not your enemy. It's your proving ground. Every setback, every scar, every silent battle is building the strength you prayed for. So keep moving, keep grinding, keep believing. Because you're not just going through this, you're growing through this. And on the other side of the pain, there's power. On the other side of the struggle, there's strength. You're becoming something unbreakable. You're not done yet. You're just getting started.